Hope everybody's having a nice relaxing Sunday. This video is just a few news clips I missed in one of last week's videos, so some of you will have seen them, just not together like this and in order, and there's a lot of new people to this case, and that's why I felt I should make sure no one missed anything, and even if you have seen them before, it's good to refresh yourself.
Search continues here in Pictou County, Nova Scotia. More than 100 search and rescue workers, many of them volunteers, continue their efforts working alongside the Rcmp. As the massive search continues in the thickly wooded area of this Nova Scotia community, 6-year-old Lilly and 4-year-old Jack Sullivan's mother and stepfather are holding out hope, waiting and praying for any good news.
The very first day I wasn't around very much because I was just searching. I was running through the woods, screaming their name till my throat hurt.
The focus of the search involves a radius of several kilometers from where the children were last seen playing on Friday.
We want to bring these two children home to their parents. We've got people who've been here since day one, since the first time the call came in. So they're tired and they're optimistic. They have one job. This is all search and rescue does, is they try to bring people home safely.
The search area has expanded on an hourly basis, and the methods being deployed are also changing. Originally, there were 2 search and rescue helicopters. Now there are 3, and rescue workers have deployed 5 drones to assist in their efforts to find these missing children.
I'm just going to jump in here because the Rcmp in Nova Scotia are providing a live update in the ongoing search for 2 young children, Lilly, Jack Sullivan. They have been missing for most of May, last seen on May the 2nd. The Rcmp now asking for the public's help. Any video they may have, let's listen into some of this now.
Underwater recovery team and several aircraft scoured a heavily wooded 5.5 square kilometer area before search efforts were scaled back on May 7th. Additional searches took place on May 8th, May 9th, May 17th, and May 18th. Any future searches will be determined based on the course of the investigation. Rcmp officers from various teams are fully engaged in finding out what happened to Jack and Lilly. We're using all tools and resources to determine the circumstances of their disappearance. I'm going to just repeat that section. Rcmp officers from various teams are fully engaged in finding out what happened to Jack and Lilly. We are using all tools and resources to determine the circumstances of their disappearance. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Jack and Lilly, or who has video footage to share with police, is asked to call the Northeast Nova Major Crimes Unit. To remain anonymous, you can also contact Nova Scotia Crime Stoppers. Is there anyone here who would like that done in French?
All right, so we're just bringing you a little bit of this. This is an Rcmp update going on right now in Nova Scotia on the search for 2 young children, Lilly Sullivan, Jack Sullivan, their siblings. They wandered away from their home in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia on May the 2nd. There have been ongoing searches. The kids have not been found. Investigators have been looking through hours of video from the area, trying to figure out where they might be, and they're now asking for the public's help as well because it has been almost a month now and they still have not found the children. We're going to keep our eye on this story for you from Nova Scotia, bring you updates as they come into our newsroom here at CTV.
6-year-old Lilly Sullivan and her 4-year-old brother Jack were reported missing from their Lansdowne Station home in rural Pictou County on May 2nd. Since then, Rcmp have launched an extensive investigation, and today police offered an update and detailed look at what's been done so far. But still, Rcmp won't say if they've identified any persons of interest, suggesting that might compromise the current investigation, but did say they've conducted polygraphs.
The Truth Verification Unit is engaged. There's multiple facets to those investigations, and those experts are examining every question and answer that those individuals are providing, and it could guide the investigation.
Police have collected hundreds of hours of video from the area and have interviewed 54 people in all and have received 488 tips. As for the search, they say they've scoured the Sullivan children's home, including outbuildings, septic systems, wells, mine shafts, and culverts, and have seized multiple devices and materials, but police couldn't say if that extensive search and investigation work has led to any new evidence.
The information gathered to date, it has not identified any new search areas at this time.
What's most significant is the administering of polygraph tests, says CTV's policing expert and former OPP polygraph examiner Chris Lewis.
You don't do polygraph tests and waste that resource on people that just maybe saw something, heard something, or is a real remote suspect. That's not the way it works. So if they're doing polygraph tests and examinations on people, those are people that they may well suspect have been involved in some way or for whatever reason aren't being honest.
Police say the missing person investigation continues, and they are following all tips and ask anyone who may have information to contact Crime Stoppers. Jesse Thomas, CTV News.
It's another plea for help to try to figure out what happened to 4-year-old Jack and 6-year-old Lilly Sullivan.
Investigators are looking at every avenue, and we're using every tool possible. And this is simply another avenue that could shed some more light or information to come forward.
That avenue is the RCMP asking Nova Scotia's Department of Justice to add the children's disappearance to the province's rewards program, offering up to $150,000 for information to figure out what happened.
I can't speculate as to the nature of information that may either lead to the solving of this case or to a reward, and I wouldn't want to discourage anybody from reaching out. We want anybody who has any information, and no matter how small they think it is, to reach out.
It's now been almost 7 weeks since the Sullivan children went missing from their family's home in Lansdowne Station, Nova Scotia, a tragedy gripping the county, province, and beyond.
I certainly don't remember in my years seeing 2 young kids going missing like this and nothing coming out of it yet.
Lilly is 4 feet tall and 60 pounds and believed to be wearing a pink Barbie top with rubber boots and a cream-colored backpack with strawberry print. Jack is 3'6", weighing 40 pounds. Officials believe he was wearing a pull-up diaper, black Under Armour jogging pants, and blue rubber boots with a dinosaur print. Since their May 2nd disappearance, police have received 508 tips and interviewed 56 people. All have cooperated with police. Former OPP Commissioner and CTV Public Safety Analyst Chris Lewis says the rewards program is a risk-free step for the police.
What tells me is, number one, that there is a bit of a stalemate somehow in their investigation in all likelihood, and they're looking to get more conversation going. Potentially what they want is a tip that will lead them to whoever is responsible for this.
And Chris Lewis, who you just heard from at the end of the story, says at the end of the day, someone out there knows something about what happened in this horrific case. Hundreds of people, dogs, drones, and helicopters were involved in extensive searches. The last one was June 1st. RCMP again saying further searches will be dictated by information that comes forward. The province's justice minister says she's hopeful including this case in the rewards program will help bring it to a close. Todd.
All right, we'll see. Callum Smith starting us off in the newsroom this evening.
The Nova Scotia RCMP's intensive investigation into the disappearance of Lilly and Jack Sullivan continues. The investigative team in the Northeast Nova RCMP Major Crimes Unit is leading the investigational efforts under the Missing Persons Act. They are assisted by RCMP units in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and Ontario, along with the National Centre for Missing Persons and Unidentified Remains, the Canadian Centre for Child Protection, and provincial and municipal police agencies from Nova Scotia and other parts of Canada. Their efforts include reviewing approximately 5,000 video files that have been obtained through a video canvas of Lansdowne Station and the surrounding areas, assessing more than 600 tips from the public, formally interviewing more than 60 people, including the administration of polygraph tests to some individuals, forensic examination of materials located through ground and air searches in Lansdowne Station, including a pink blanket that officers seized on Lansdowne Road, and submitting judicial authorizations to seize and examine materials and devices that may provide information useful to the investigation. Right now, there are more than 800 tasks associated to this investigation. A tremendous amount of careful, deliberate investigative work is underway by people here at home and in other parts of Canada. Our collective efforts will continue every day until we determine with certainty the circumstances surrounding Lilly and Jack's disappearance. Investigators encourage anyone with specific information on the whereabouts of Lilly and Jack to call the Northeast Nova RCMP Major Crime Unit. To remain anonymous, contact Nova Scotia Crime Stoppers either by phone, through their website, or use the P3 Tips app.
People close to the investigation have expressed concern that the case now lacks urgency. How do you respond to that?
An RCMP family liaison is in regular contact with a designated relative of Lilly and Jack. The RCMP family liaison provides ongoing updates and support to the family so that they are aware of what is going on with the investigation and the information that can be provided to them. The family liaison officer is a member of Major Crimes. So information is absolutely provided to the family through the people who have been designated to share those communications.
Just outside the Sullivan home in Lansdowne Station, a single orange ribbon flutters. Behind it, a poster with the faces of Lilly and Jack, smiling. It's been 2.5 months since the two young children disappeared. They were last seen in May and were believed to have wandered into the woods behind their home.
A tremendous amount of careful, deliberate investigative work is underway by people here at home and in other parts of Canada.
Despite extensive searches on foot, by helicopter, with dogs and drones, crews found nothing. No footprints, no clothing, no trace of where the children may have gone.
Right now, there are more than 800 tasks associated to this investigation.
The investigation has grown into one of the largest in Nova Scotia RCMP history, with over 600 tips from across Canada and beyond, and 5,000 video files currently under review.
Surveillance cameras, trail cams, doorbell cameras. We did a further request for information in a news release to the public a little bit later in May.
Rumors have been swirling ever since the kids went missing, and with so little information being shared, it's only added fuel to the fire, leading many to believe them.
Try not to follow the rumors, but you know they're getting more grounding in the rumors because of the fact that the RCMP have found nothing.
And while they say the investigation is moving forward under the Missing Persons Act, many in the community feel like they're standing still.
Most people will say to me that the best hope is if somebody did take those little ones. I mean, if those kids were in the woods, I think most people in Pictou County now are thinking they would have found something. They would have found a shred of clothes, they would have found anything.
So far, 60 people have been interviewed. Some have undergone polygraph testing, and one item found during the search is now undergoing forensic analysis,
including a pink blanket that officers seized on Lansdowne Road, and submitting judicial authorizations to seize and examine materials and devices that may provide information useful to the investigation.
Back at the Sullivan home, the orange ribbon remains, slightly faded by sun and time, but still holding on. Hafsa RFC TV News, Lansdowne Station. Nearly 4 months ago, Lilly and Jack Sullivan, ages 6 and 4, went missing from their home in Lansdowne Station. In a statement to Global News Thursday, RCMP say intensive investigative work is ongoing in relation to the disappearance of Lilly and Jack Sullivan, and tips continue to be received. We now have over 700 and are evaluated and prioritized by a dedicated team of investigators in the Northeast Nova Major Crime Unit with the assistance of agencies from across Canada.
We've had this in the past, different disaster, the Westray disaster, and everybody descended on us there, and that's not something we want. But in this case, when two little ones go missing, everybody is really keen on finding those children so they can get them home safe and sound.
Kent Corbett's family has lived in Pictou County for generations. As Lilly and Jack's case dragged on, he knew he had to do something to keep their story at the forefront of the news cycle.
I approached Advocate Printing and said that we wanted a deal on making up some election style signs, and we went from there.
Over the last week, his advocacy group has been fulfilling sign orders, with all proceeds going towards search and rescue and funding more awareness materials. Some of the children's family members have ordered signs for their yards as well.
The more people that are thinking about these kids every day will be the greater chance that we have to be able to bring them home.
Lilly and Jack attended Salt Springs Elementary. As the new school year approaches, their school district says, "We have school psychologists, counselors, and regional support staff ready to help any students who are finding it challenging to be back on site at the school without the presence of their peers."
And those kids get back in the classroom to their teacher. It's going to be, did anybody find Jack and Lilly? Kids that age aren't going to understand that the adults are doing everything they can. I wouldn't want to be that teacher having to explain that.
But Corbett says the community is still holding on to hope.
They're Pictou County's children now, and people need to know what happened.
Ella MacDonald, Global News, Pictou, Nova Scotia.
That's the end of them. What do you think is going to happen with the RCMP in this case over the next month? 1, nothing. 2, something. 3, an arrest. 4, a statement. See you all in next week's video. Take care.